Today I'm going to be chatting about some potty training tips. These are going to be some practical potty training tips that might help you before you consider starting potty training with your little one. So if that sounds like something that you're looking for, then do keep on watching. Hi, for those of you who are new around here, I'm Grace and I've got two young sons. I've got a 3 and a 2-year-old. So in the last year, I have potty trained both my sons. So I thought I would gather together some tips that I thought would be really helpful for anyone who is in a position where you're either thinking about potty training, you've just started potty training, and I'm going to try and keep it as practical and useful as possible. This is not going to be one of them videos where I promise you that your child is going to be potty trained within a week, a few days. Because personally, I don't think potty training is a quick fix, especially for young, if you start it quite young. Both my children were fairly young, I'd say, for boys. I think they were around average or just under average. I don't think there's a quick fix. I think that it's quite a big thing for a young child to grasp, and there's lots of things that I want to get into in this video, so I really hope that you find it useful, all that sort of stuff. And if you do like mum life, I make loads all about motherhood, all that sort of stuff on this channel, so stick around if you do enjoy this video. So the first tip that I have got for you is wait until your child is ready to start potty training. And this will be different for every child. You know your child better than anyone else, your son, your daughter. This means something different to your child, but you will know when they are ready to start potty training. This doesn't necessarily mean that they have to be communicating to you, because both my children were at different stages in their communication and I started potty training nevertheless. But just wait until they give you a sort of sign or indication that they might be ready to start potty training. So again, this is going to be really different for your individual child, but for us with Elliot, he was getting really aggravated with his heavy soiled nappy and he started trying to push it down, and we could see that it was agitating him and he wanted the freedom of having his nappy off. So that was a really good sign for us that maybe you were ready to start potty training. We took it straight from there, and to be honest, I didn't do any research into potty training. Sorry, the sun's coming out now, it's going to be probably a bit bright. And I literally kind of winged it with my first son. I did no research before. The minute that he started showing that sign, I thought, you're ready to start potty training, and I took that as a good opportunity to begin it, because I always wanted to do it sooner rather than later. Wait for your child to show you signs that they might be ready to start. And then with my second child, I was actually talking to him and I was showing him pants that his brother wears, and I was talking to him, oh, you'll be wearing pants soon, and he really showed an interest in wanting to wear the pants. So we took that as a sign that he was ready or interested. Even just an interest in potty training is really good, or toilet training, whatever you're going to do. I'm going to be speaking more about potty training in this video, but just let them show you signs that they are interested, so you can help spark their interest as well. Things like buying a potty ahead of potty training so that they've seen it before you even begin, because I remember we got the potty to start potty training Elliot, and he hadn't seen the potty before, my younger son, and he was obsessed with seeing. He was like, oh, what's this new thing? He thought it was a toy. So maybe even get your potty ahead of starting so that they've seen it. It's not like a nice new shiny thing. I don't know why they were so interested in a potty, but you know what young children are like. Something new always sparks their interest. So things like that, you can buy your potty in advance, or you could buy some pants for them and show them sort of like character pants are always a really good way to spark a little bit of interest in your child as well. Like if they've got a specific character that they like, or storybook, that sort of thing is a really good way of starting to show an interest in wanting to potty train, wear pants, all that sort of stuff. So another tip that I have is to ditch the nappy. Once you start, ditch that nappy, because I think personally, if you go back and forward between nappies and pants, it's sending mixed signals to your child. You just want to go cold turkey with them. Other than nap time and bedtime, we did keep the nappy for those things for our children. They still wear a nappy to bed. They have started wearing pants on their nap, but in the early days we explained to them nappies are for bedtime and nap time now, and we stuck to that. And I really think that the consistency of that helped both our sons in their potty training journey, because we weren't showing them mixed signals. They stuck to pants as soon as they started potty training, and I genuinely think that really helped both my children. The longer that you hold on to the nappies, I think the longer that's all they know. So when you're telling your children, right, we're going to start potty training soon, keep it as basic and stripped back as you can, because it is a big thing for them to learn. So if you then start showing them mixed signals and you going back to nappies, their brain is going through like so much when you're potty training them, that mixed signal is not going to help in teaching them that we're using a potty now, you're wearing pants now. That's easier for them to kind of grasp than throwing nappies back into the equation, if that makes sense. I know it's really a safety net to be like, oh, I'll just put the nappy pants on for a day, but personally I think you should ditch the nappy and go cold turkey. Yes, there's going to be accidents along the way, but it's all part of the journey, and all of those accidents actually do help teach your children how to potty train. So of course there are going to be accidents and stuff like that, they're inevitable. We have the odd accident even still. It's just natural when it's such a new thing that your children are learning. But definitely consider going cold turkey with that nappy, and I'm pretty sure you will not regret it. So something that I've done both times with my children is I've potty trained them in the summer, and I just find that potty training in the summer is so much easier because the weather's warmer. Okay for them to be naked, or naked at least at the bottom. I just think that for the first few days having them naked is essential, because one, you get to watch their signals and they get to learn their body as well. So like you can watch what they're doing before the wee or the poo comes, and it kind of just gives you a bit of a heads up that this is going to happen, what was going to happen kind of thing. Because when they're in nappies, you don't always know that when it's about to come. Obviously, like with a poo you probably do, but like when they're weeing it's not always clear. So it's quite helpful to have them like bottom half naked, and it's just more practical to do this in the summer. It's warmer, you're not going to be freezing cold, and I just find that potty training in the summer is a lot easier. Like the early days, you don't have to do this, but I find that it is just a little bit more simple in the summer months to do that, because it's just alright for them to be in the house or in the garden without their pants on. This also gives them an opportunity to learn their bodies as well, which is something that they do when they're potty training. It's a really important part of it. And obviously if their bits are accessible, boys, girls, that's going to be easier for them too. So having them naked for as long as you can, like bottom half, in a safe environment, obviously, like that's a no-brainer, is going to help you in the really, really early days. And so that's something to consider as well. And even if you can't do it in the summer, say that you found this video in the winter and you still really want to do it, have just a couple of days where they are maybe bottom half naked. It just helps you and them establish what's going on a little bit, and it starts I think as well, it kind of gives them a bit of a signal that something's different, and you get to learn their signals before these things even happen as well. So I just find that's quite a helpful thing to think about, just keeping them like bottom half naked for a little bit. Going back to one of my previous points in making sure that your children are ready, I have when I chat about it to other people, a lot of concerns are that maybe your child isn't yet communicating or speaking. I started potty training with Elliot, my elder son, before he was even really talking very much, but we always knew that he understood everything that we said and he could communicate with us without using words. So something like that's really important. If you know that they can communicate a need without actually saying a word, you're good to go. But obviously this is a really good time to be introducing a lot of key words to your child in potty training, and it also does help them have to speak, because eventually they do have to use those words in order to convey what they want to you, and it is a good stepping stone to also getting your children speaking, I'd say. So yeah, my elder son wasn't really saying loads when we started potty training, whereas my younger child was saying loads. So it obviously helps if they communicate, of course it can help, but you don't have to wait for that in order to start. You definitely don't. So like with Elliot, like as soon as we started, we were really enforcing words like obviously the main words, wee, poo, penis, like, cause obviously like with little boys, they need to be like pushing their willy penis right down into the potty, otherwise wee goes everywhere. They say that boys are meant to be harder to potty train. I don't know if that's true. Obviously I've only got 2 sons, so I don't know how easy girls are, but you need to be able to communicate those words and make sure they know what you mean. Again, my children have always had a good understanding of like what we were saying to them and instructions, so if they can follow basic instructions, that's really good and helpful. So getting some keywords like in your child's brain, even if they can't say it back to you, as long as they know what it is, that word, wee, poo, you know, the body part that you want to talk about. Or as well, another thing is that like sometimes you have to like tell them to sit, change their seating. Like sometimes they're just not sat, they sort of slump on the potty. So if you can say to them, sit up a little bit, or you pull them, you know, if you pull them up and show them what you mean. There's lots of keywords that will help make it a lot of a smoother transition into potty training. So make sure those keywords are there. You can constantly use them as well. Like, and another thing that's a good word you can always teach them is like quick. If they're bursting, like quickly get me the potty, I want the potty, I want a wee. Keep reinforcing those keywords, and that will also help your potty training like journey go a lot smoother. Another really practical thing that I can suggest when you're in the very early days of potty training at least is to consider just buying a few potties to keep around the house, because in the early days they do have a tendency to leave it until they're bursting. I mean, they still do this now, my children. And if your potty is upstairs in the other room miles away and they need that wee now, there's a good chance that they need it like very quickly. So if you've got a few potties scattered around the house, you've got a better chance at catching it before it becomes an accident. So consider having like a potty, or like a potty upstairs, a potty downstairs, depending on, you know, your situation. Definitely consider getting a few potties here and there. And speaking of that, so we've got like just a normal potty. I know you can get some that have got like really fancy potties. You can get like lids so they can pretend to put the lid down, all that stuff. We've just got like a really basic potty upstairs and downstairs. And then something that is a must, which I haven't actually got with me because it's in my car and I didn't want to go out and get it because I'm being lazy, but I will insert a cutaway of it now. You've probably heard me talking about it if you're not new around here. It's our carry potty. This was honestly the best money that we've ever spent in terms of potty training, because it's a little carry potty, it's got a handle, it's a case, like literally in a case, it folds in. It's really, really convenient because it doesn't feel like, say you're like in the early days of potty training, like you don't want to be carrying this around with you. It's so obnoxious, like everyone would kind of be looking at you like, oh, they're potty training, and it just kind of makes you feel a bit like, okay, everyone knows that we're potty training. Carry potty, so quietly, like it's just so subtle. You can clip it onto your pram. I've got like a buggy clip, and you know, if they need to go quickly, you can just hide them somewhere behind a tree. Or we've quite often had to like open the car doors, like if we get back to the car and one of them decides they need a wee, we'll just like open the two car doors and like quietly like put them away, like put them down on the floor. It's so practical. You've definitely got to invest in one of them, because you know, you can get these toilet seat covers. I've also got this, which I keep in my rucksack all the time, because we're now working on like toilet training a little bit more. So it comes in a little case like this, and it folds away really nice and neatly. So it's a toilet seat like that you can put on the public bathrooms, and then it just suctions on. So this is really easy and convenient to carry in a rucksack, so that say that you're just like round the shopping centre and they decide they want a wee, and this is probably like later on in your potty training journey, like when they can hold their bladder a little bit more, so you can stick that in the toilet. I also keep some like antibacterial wipes in there just to like wipe it down before or after, just because I'm a bit OCD like that. So there's some things to consider for like your practical out and about potty training, because I found the first time that I potty trained, I was really afraid to go out in the early days, and it can feel quite restricting, and you still want to be getting them out because it's not a very good reflection of what it's going to be like, because obviously you have to get them out and about. So it's good to get them used to using the potty or toilet seat when they're out and about, because that is what's going to happen, isn't it? You don't want them just to be used to using your potty or your toilet. So get them used to going when you're out as well, as early as you can, I'd say. Another really practical tip that I didn't really think about until we'd probably finished potty training Elliot was to buy them pants that are the size up from what they're probably needing. And you might be thinking, what that doesn't make any sense. But there's logic to this. So basically, if you get pants that fit them perfectly, they can be, you know, they're skin tight to them, and it's harder for them to learn that act of pushing their pants down when they're really tight. So if you buy the size up pants, you only need like literally one size up. You don't want them like hanging off, but you want the pants to be loose. They have got a much better chance of pushing their pants down and learning how to push their pants down with bigger size pants. And this was really crucial to us in getting Elliot to not have accidents, because his pants were so tight. Well, they weren't tight, but they fit so well that he was struggling to get them pushed down in enough time, and that was a bit of a struggle. So a really good tip, like when they're at that stage where you can start saying to them, right, push your pants down. Obviously, like in the first few days, you do it with them because they're not used to that. But another thing, if you're like considering potty training soon, is to start doing that act of getting their clothes off in time to get to the potty. And a way to help them along is in getting pants that are a little bit bigger for them, because they're not going to hug their body and they've got a better chance of learning how to push it down. It's just easier for them, and that was a really good tip, and that really helped Elliot along his way. When we actually got some pants that were slightly bigger for him, so much easier for them to pull their pants down and get to the potty and not have an accident. And then obviously we've got some lovely character pants here, which helps kind of spark a little bit of like interest, and like they like their little character pants. And so these are 2 to 3. We had these a little while ago. I got 2 packets actually because I just thought I would, but I thought I'd show you. That's a really handy tip. So definitely think about getting some pants that are more on the baggy side to start off with. Plus they'll grow into them, so you're going to get more use out of them. So that was honestly a really helpful thing that we did for Jasper when he started as well. We didn't put him in the smaller size pants. We put him straight away in the size up from what he should have been. So they were a little bit loose, a little bit baggy, and it's so much easier for them to learn how to get their pants off, which is really, really handy because it prevents the accident, you know, because if they're struggling to get their pants down and they're really bursting for the loo, it's obviously a vicious cycle for them, and they're panic, you know, they're thinking, oh, I need to get, like, honestly, size up in the pants and they will get there so much quicker. So that's a really good tip, and something that I wish that I'd have known before I started potty training Elliot. And also like just learning things, like I say, maybe learning to push their pants down before they even start, or their nappy. You could get them to even start pushing their nappy pants down. That's going to help you be ahead for when you start potty training eventually. Another thing that I think would be a really practical tip. We can't actually do this because we don't have a downstairs toilet, but once you've got over the initial early stages of potty training, because when you start potty training, the potty is just near you usually, but if you have like a downstairs toilet, once you know they can hold their bladder a little bit, try and keep the potty in the designated toilet, downstairs toilet or bathroom, because it just keeps that association with going to the toilet in that specific room, which is obviously what adults do. So I wish that we had a downstairs bathroom, because even still we do keep a potty down here, just because having to like navigate the stairs, the stair gates, getting up to the toilet now is just a bit of a faff. And we just want to make sure they don't have any accidents, so we still do keep our potty just downstairs wherever we are. But if you've got a downstairs bathroom, that's a really good opportunity to get your child to associate going to toilet in the right room. Obviously this isn't crucial, but this is just something that you might want to consider as well. And then I thought another little tip that I would include in this video is to make sure that you have always got a box of this in your house, which is bicarbonate of soda, which you can probably see. The reason that you want to keep a box of this in your home at all times is because it's so good at deodorizing the smell of urine, even sick. Like, this is just, every mum should have bicarbonate of soda in their house, but especially for potty training, because you're going to have those accidents. You can use it in the washing machine if they've soiled their clothes, you know, like if they wet themselves, that kind of thing. If wee comes out the potty, like even this morning one of the boys was sat on the potty, they weren't positioned properly and their wee shot out on the out of the potty onto the carpet. Not all of it, but a little bit of wee came out the potty. These things happen, so bicarbonate of soda is going to be your best friend. You want to like mop that up straight away, and then I would say like over a few days, just shake some bicarbonate of soda, maybe add in a little bit of white vinegar as well, but just even bicarb on its own is really, really good. So you definitely need a box of this if you're potty training. Trust me, it's going to be your best friend. So we keep that at all times. It's essential. They are my potty training tips. I've tried to keep them practical. I've tried to keep them stripped back, really simple to follow. There's no gimmicks, there's no quick fixes here. They're just some really useful practical tips that will help you on your journey to potty training. And always remember, there's not a quick fix. It's not going to happen overnight. It's an ongoing thing. It's a big thing for your child to learn. It's a really exciting journey, because it's just like watching your child go from a baby into a toddler, and they're learning all these really amazing life skills, and you're on the journey with them. So just remember as well, don't give up. If it feels like you're taking a step back, that is also really normal as well. So don't give up with it. Just keep pushing through, and you promise you will get there. You will absolutely get there. Just keep going with it and try to keep it as stripped back and easy as possible for yourself, and that is all you can do. So I really hope you've enjoyed these tips. The video a like if you found it useful, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again really soon.